Okay. All right, so it has a common difference where it's adding or subtracting the same amount. Okay, so Elizabeth, what about geometric? Oh yeah, what's a geometric? You forgot? Okay. Well, where arithmetic adds or subtracts, geometric multiply or divides. Okay. So and it has to be consistent. If it doesn't stay consistent, it's not one of those. Does that make sense? So your two main ones are arithmetic, geometric, and if it's not one of those, it's an other. You can still have number patterns, but that just don't follow these. They just say they're other. Okay? So if I look here at this one, to go from 34 to 17, I would subtract 17, right? So I first have to check, it's easier to check for arithmetic. But if I take 17 minus 17, do I get 8.5? No, so not arithmetic. So now try geometric. That's not what okay. So what times 34 would give me 17? Well, remember to find for geometric, we can take the second one divided by the first one. What's 17 divided by 34? It's 0.5, right? How about here? Is 8.5 divided by 17 also 0.5? All right, those two things are the same. That means it's geometric. So it's geometric. The explicit formula for geometric is a sub n is equal to a sub 1 r to the n minus 1. What's a sub 1? 34. R is the multiplier. That's the 0.5 that we have to the n minus 1. Or you could put it as 1/2. If you put it as 1/2, it's okay. All right. Questions? Okay. Now, let's look at the second one. Okay, so if I go from 44 to 22, that's minusing 22, right? 44 minus 22 is negative 22. How about, is this also minus 22? Is it doing the same thing? So it's doing the same thing twice. So that means it's subtracting 22 every time. So that makes it arithmetic. And the explicit formula for arithmetic is a sub n equals a sub 1 plus d to the n minus 1. A sub 1 is 44 plus negative 22 to the n minus 1. Does everyone see that? Questions? So I want to try something else with you guys. So if I put this in a table, this would be the term, and would be the value. So let's say this is n, not n, we don't want to use n. We'll say a sub n. So when it's the first term, it was 44. Would you agree with that? Second term was 22. Third term was 0. Oh, why did I put? What would be the fourth term? How would I get the next one? Nathan, got an idea? If I'm going 44, then 22, then 0, then next one? Yeah, 0 minus 22 is negative 22. Okay. When did we last use a table? When we did what? It's been a little while. Way back in chapter 2. When did you last have tables? Not a hard question, guys. When we had lines, remember graphing lines? We had tables and stuff. I want to show you something. I'm going to pull out Desmos here. This is just for you to pay attention, watch. It's not going to be something I expect you to do. So my first term was 44, right? My second one was 22, right? My third one was 0. My fourth one, negative 22. What shape is that making? What, Santos? It's making a line. It's making a line. Now, what did you need to be able to graph a line? Need the what? No, just in what do you need to be able to graph a line? You need the two pieces of information? Slope and y-intercept, right? What do you think the slope is for this line? Slope is the rate of change. What would be the slope of this line? Down 22, 1. So our difference is like our slope, and that's going to come into play for today. Okay, keeping that in mind. All right. The common difference on an arithmetic sequence is very much like a slope. All right. Questions on that worksheet from Friday? Any questions? Oh, we're back up. I think we're back up. Let's see. Nope, not yet. Thought we were. Still not there yet. All right. Oh, are we? Hey. Nope, it's still connecting. Okay. No questions on that worksheet? So remember that today, guys, is the start of a new semester. So everybody's grades are over, started over. So if you were a student who barely got through last semester, try and make sure you turn it around for this one. Okay? Because you're not going to have, there won't be a chance at the end of this, come January, if there's not the same chance as right now to make up first. So you still can make up first semester, but you can't make up second semester. You're going to run out of time. Okay, so stay on track. Some of you procrastinated a little too much back in August. Can't do that. All right. So let's get started with our classwork, since you're going to have to read the problem from my iPad. All right. So there we go. Trixie wants to create an especially tricky. This is a tongue twister. Hello. So no internet. Luckily, I had already put, so they couldn't pull up their ebook anyway. Anyway, Trixie wants to create an especially tricky arithmetic sequence. She wants the 5th term in the sequence to equal 11 and the 50th term to equal 371. Now they use a different little notation. So this, instead of using T, we use A. So A sub 5 equals 11 and A sub 50 equals 371. Is it possible to create an arithmetic sequence to fit her information? If it is possible, determine the common difference and we'll say the first term, okay? Then write the equation of the arithmetic sequence. Now we just talked about that the common difference is just like a slope, right? So that common difference is the same as a slope. How do we find the slope when we have two terms? How do you find a slope when you have, could I put this on a graph and we could find as points? Didn't we just do that? Didn't I just show you how to do it as points? Yeah. Nikki? Okay, but we would have to find the slope first, right? How would we find the slope? Do you remember? Y1 minus Y2 over. Which of these is our Y's and which one's the X's? Which was the Y's and which is the X's? Elizabeth? Yeah, these are my X's. This is my X's. And these ones are like my Y's. So that means I'm going to take 371 minus 11 divided by 50 minus 5. So 371 minus 11 is 360 divided by 50 minus 5. It's 45. And what's 360 divided by 45? I got 8. So far, so good? So old material, right? Finding slope, very similar to what we did before, just looking at it a little different way. Now we need to see if we can write a formula for it. Okay, now what? Why do they keep emailing us about it when they know the internet's out? Right? Is that what the email's about? Right. Because the internet's, they send out emails to the staff, internet's out. How are we supposed to get it? Yeah. Anyway, okay. So the formula for is A sub n equals A sub 1 plus D times n minus 1. That's our formula for the arithmetic sequence, right? Do I know any information in this? Do I know D? Yeah, I know a D, right? What's D? I'm going to put an 8 there. Do I know A sub 1? Do I know the first term? Nope, I got to leave that one there. Do I know an N? Do I have an N value? Yeah, I do. I either have 5 or I have 50. Which one do you want to use? 5. Thank you, Ms. Largo. So if I'm using n as 5, what's the A sub n? 11. Can we solve this now?
Like the same as an x and y.
It's very similar to an x and a y.
Not the same, but
Similar. All right, what's 5 minus 1? 4. Eight times 4? 8 times 4 is 32. They're sleeping today. They're already taking their 3-day weekend. Oh, did you forget it? I didn't forget about that. I'm thinking about sleeping in. Yeah, I was complaining about having to come in 2 days early at the beginning of the year. But you know what? I need it now. Subtract 32 from both sides. And that's minus 20. Negative 21 equals A sub 1. Do I have enough to write to my equation now? Do I have my D? Do I have my A sub 1? Can I write my equation? A sub n equals A sub 1, which is 21, plus 8 times n minus 1. And that's what we're going to be doing today, guys, is we're going to be given information and we're going to be given 2 terms in a sequence and asked to find the arithmetic sequence for it. And we're pretty much doing everything. Well, I don't know how much time we got. We got till when? We got till
30, right?
Yeah. So we'll see how many of these we can get through today in class. And then whatever we don't get through becomes your assignment. Okie dokie? So you may not have a homework assignment if you pay attention in class. Questions on the first one? Okay, next one. So this one is 60. This one is 60. I just didn't put the number in there. 7 years ago, Cody found a box of old baseball cards in the garage. Since then, he has added a consistent number of cards to collection each year. He had 52 cards in the collection after 3 years and now has 107. How many cards were in the original box? So we're going to just talk about we're going to call it, we don't talk about T sub 0. We're not talking about T sub 0. Okay? Write the first few terms of the sequence. And then Cody plans to keep the collection for a long time. How many cards will the collection contain 10 years from now? Write an equation that determines the number of cards in the collection after n years. What does each number in this equation represent? So we're going to do these backwards. All right? Because it's going to be easier to find the equation and then find numbers for it. So what would be, so if we wanted to make it here, what information do we know from the problem? What information do we know? Oh, come on, people. I can't, I've got something in my ear here, so it's really hard. So you gotta speak up so I can hear you in this one. So A sub 3 would equal 52, right? How about the second one? What would be the other term? Let me make this a little smaller. I'll tell you, it has an A in there. A sub what? No. You do know the number, the time. A sub. First word. 7 years ago. So it's A sub 7 equals 108. Yeah, this might, for some reason my 7 kind of went a little wonky. A sub 7 equals 108. Now can we do what we wanted, find our D? Okay, so remember our difference is the subtracting of the terms. So does it matter if I do 52 minus 108 or 108 minus 52? Does it matter? No, as long as I'm consistent, just like for finding the equation of a line. So this is going to reinforce when we found equations of lines. So I'm going to do 52 minus 108 divided by 3 minus 7. Well, 52 minus 108, not 1083, is negative 56 divided by 3 minus 7 is negative 4. Negative 56 divided by negative 4 is 14. So D is equal to 14. Okay. Now let's find the rest of the equation. So remember, it's A sub n equals A sub 1 plus D times n minus 1. Do you want to use the 3 and 52 or the 7 and 108? I will let Carissa make that decision for us. 3 and 52. So tell me, where's the 52 going to go? That's kind of like our output, right? Which is what we're looking for. This is the output. So it's going to go 52 equals A sub 1 plus, what's the D? 14. What's the N? 3 minus 1. So what you might want to do here, guys, is when you pick which one you're using, this is the N, and this is the A sub n for substituting. All right, now, so I get 52 equals A sub 1 plus, what's 3 minus 1? 2. So it's 14 times 2. 14 times 2? 28. Minus 28. And 52 minus 28? So what does that 24 represent? A sub 1. And what is A sub 1? How many he started with? That's the starting value, right? So how many were in the original box? 24. So there's 24 in the original box. And he's adding 14 each year. So how much would be in the second year? 24 plus 14? 38. Plus another 14? 52. Hey, guess what? It matches up to the 52 we had here. We're on the right track. How many cards will be in the collection? How many cards will the collection contain 10 years from now? Ooh, that's a good one. How many? So it would be n would equal what number? It's 10 years from now. How many years has he had the collection already? And 10 years from now would make it 17. Because it's 10 years. So he's already had it for 7. Now it's 10 years in the future, so it's 17. So find for n is equal to 17. So our equation, remember, is a sub n equals our first term, which is 24, plus 14 times n minus 1. So put 17 in for n. Still not working, is it?
I just have my phone. I don't have my.
Trying. I'm wondering if I need to, because yeah, no, but it's not. I still got the nice little triangle. Caution. You will be asked to you'll be given something like this to do on your test, where you'll be given two terms in a sequence that are not side by side, and you'll be asked to find. Now, they'll all be arithmetic. They will not be geometric. That'll be in a couple more units. Okay, but right now for arithmetic, all right. Trixie now wants an arithmetic. Trixie needs to just stop. Wants an arithmetic sequence with a common difference of negative 17. So D is equal to negative 17. And the 16th term to be 93. So that means A sub 16 equals 93. Would you agree with that? Yes. They're in order. This is 61. When I took the pictures, I didn't get the numbers on them. But yeah, they're in order. Oh, I didn't do that one. So it'd be 24 plus 14 times 17 minus 1. You get 248. Okay. So is it possible to make a sequence like this? If it is, let's write the equation. If it's not, explain why not. Okay. So how would we know if it works or if it doesn't work? I'm going to let him think for a minute.
You have the D, and you have
An N and an A sub N.
what would you do?
What would you be looking for? They're all looking around, looking around. You still need to find what? A sub 1, right? So if you can find an A sub 1, then you can have an equation. So let's set it up. So remember, we're going to use A sub n equals A sub 1 plus d times n minus 1. Why is it in this class that my nose itches? Always. What am I going to put here? Actually, you know what? I'm going to not write it down for right now. I want you to write it down, and then let's Miss Lago and I walk around and make sure you can set it up right. Raja? I'll come back. All right, I'll give you a chance. Huh?
Can I use the bathroom real quick?
Sure. Hayden, you need some help? Or you got it? Okay, well, I want to see you write it down. Okay, fill in the information. Ouch. Oh, my knee just popped. Oh, that hurts. Are you stuck? So put the 93 here because you're looking for A sub 1. Okay. Hmm? Yep, nope, you can just put this in place, 93 in place of the A sub n. Is equal to, and then you're looking for A sub 1. So put A sub 1 there. Now, solve it. AJ? And right here for A sub n. It's equal to 93. Okay, solve for A. Okay, good. What's this 16 minus, is that a 1?
Yeah.
Okay. So make sure you put A sub 1 here. This is going to equal the 93. So each number only goes in once. Okay? Okay, ready? So 16 minus 1 is 15. Negative 17 times 15 is negative 255. So add 255 to both sides. Hold on. 93 plus 255 is 348. So can she have any a sequence is 300? Yeah, 348 is a valid value. Could you write the? So now let's write our equation. So it's going to be A sub n equals 348 plus negative 17 n minus 1. Now some of you may say, well, can I just put it as a, instead of a plus minus there, can I just put a minus? Yes, you can. That's okay.
That'd be easier if you have
Right.
two signs next to each other.
It's up to you. I don't care. Questions? All right. Check something here. Okay. What is 69? I didn't. I'll check something real quick. Okay. 62. Your favorite radio station, WCPM, is having a contest. If the DJ poses a question to the listeners, if the caller answers correctly, he or she wins the prize. It wins the prize money. If the caller answers incorrectly, $20 is added to the prize money, and the next caller is eligible to win. The current question is difficult, and no one has won for 2 days. Lucky you! 14 people already called in today with incorrect answers. So when you called with the right answer, you won $735. How much was the prize worth at the beginning of the day today? Okay. So 14 people already called in. And how much does it grow for each person that incorrectly answers? I heard it. How much? Anthony? Yeah. So 14 people have called in already. And with each one, it went up by 20. How much has it gone up today? How do you figure that number out? 14 times 20, and that is 280. So how much did it start out at? How could you figure it out? That's how much it's grown today. But what was it worth at the very beginning when that first caller called in? How would you find it? You just won, and it was $735 that you won. So how much was it at the beginning of the day? What'd you do? Yeah, 735 minus the 280. 735 minus 280 is $455. Oh, my nose is really itching. Part B. Instead, suppose the contest always starts at $100. How many people would have to guess incorrectly for the winner to get $1,360? Well, let's think of this as an equation. We need to find n, right? That's what number of people. Do we know what the ending value is? How much? So that's our a sub n, so that's how much? 1,360. Do we know our starting value? And that is? It starts at 100. Do we know our difference? How much is it growing by? $20. We just don't know what? N minus 1. Do you guys know how to solve an equation that's got a fraction or got parentheses and stuff? Yeah, let's solve it. So I can distribute 20 times n is 20n. 20 times negative 1 is negative 20. So I get 1,360 equals. Probably want to combine like terms. Would you guys want to combine like terms? So 100 minus 20 is 80. So that's 20n plus 80. I just got itchy. I'm all over. Minus 80 on both sides. 1,360 minus 80 gives me 1,280 equals 20n. Now what? Divide by 20. And I get what? N is equal to 64 people. Okay. We have what, 15 minutes left? And we're on 63. Look at that. We've done almost every question that you have as an assignment. So what should you do as soon as we're done with this with the classwork? Take a picture and submit it. Have it ready. We actually just have this one and another one. I'll just write it in here. So we can do all of it together, right? Ms. Laura? Trixie's at it again. This time she wants an arithmetic sequence that has a graph with a slope of 22. Ooh. She also wants t of 8, so a sub n, or 8 sub 8, has to equal 164. And the 13th term to have a value of 300. So that's a sub 13 has to equal 300, right? Remember we talked about the t term, it's just another way of writing it. And do we know our d? She's pointing. What? Do we know d? Do we know d? D is like the what? The slope. And the slope is? So d is equal to 22. Is it possible to create an arithmetic sequence to fit her information? So let's check. Let's see if we put 8 in. We get, because we know the d, we just don't know a sub 1, right? So let's test that. So 164 has to equal a sub 1, which we don't know, plus 22 times, what's n? Minus 1? What's 8 minus 1? Okay. Times 7. So 22 times 7 is 154. Okay. So what's a sub 1? Okay. So let's test it. It should work for the other point, right? Should it work for this one too? Okay, well, let's check it. So 10 is equal to a sub 1. So is 300 equal to a sub 1 plus d is 22. What's my n this time? 13, right? Minus 1. What's 22 times 12? 22 times 12 is 264. Uh-oh. Is that going to work? Is it working? Why isn't it working? Is 300 equal to 10 plus 264? No. What is different about why? Here's the thing. Because they gave me both terms and the distance that needed to work, that's why I had to check both, make sure it worked for both. All the previous ones, it just gave you two terms, right? And it asked you to find an equation that fit those two terms. These two terms don't fit a slope of 22. So it is not possible. Because a sub 13 will not equal 300. Okay? Okay. I'm actually going to cross off 69 because I'm looking at it again and I don't like it. Oh, no, you know what? Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, so here's 69. Great Amusement Parks has been raising its ticket prices every year. Here's the table. In year 0, it was $50. So when they opened, it was $50. After the first year, it went to $55. The second year, it went to $60.50. And the third year, it's $66.55. Describe how the ticket prices are growing. So I'm going to tell you right now, it's a sequence. What kind? Is it arithmetic or geometric? What, Elizabeth? Geometric, yeah. Because is it adding the same number every time? No. But if I take and I divide, so like take this divided by this, I get what? What's 55 divided by 50? Gives me 1.1. If I take 60.5 divided by 55, I get 1.1. So is it multiplying the same amount every time? Okay, so how's it growing? So it's multiplying by 1.1. Wow, my nose is really itchy. That's part A. Part B, what will the price of admission be in year 6? So how would I find year 6? How do I find year 6? I know year 3. What would I do to year 3 to get to year 4? This is like a rebound ratio, right? Can we just keep multiplying it a couple more times? Yeah, do it. But is it also like our drop height times our ratio to the power? So take 66.6 times 66.55 times 1.1. And for year 4, you should have got $73.22 and times 1.1 again, times 1.1 again, and you should come out with like $88.58. Why did I round it to 2 decimals? Why didn't I just write out all the decimals? Because it's money. It doesn't make sense. Remember we talked about how for different things, the way you round and whether you do things, it depends upon what the context is. All right, well, that's it for your assignment, guys. That's your whole assignment.